Your mind is your greatest asset or your greatest enemy. Train it well, and it will take you anywhere you want to go. Think about this. Every success, every failure, every breakthrough, and every setback in your life began with a thought. Your thoughts shape your reality, your decisions, and ultimately, your destiny. Yet most people never learn how to think with discipline. They let their minds wander aimlessly, distracted by negativity, doubt, and external influences. Have you ever found yourself overthinking, making impulsive decisions, or struggling to stay focused on your goals? If so, you're not alone. The world today is filled with distractions, emotional triggers, and mental clutter that keep us from achieving greatness. But here's the good news. You can train your mind to work for you, not against you. Successful people don't just think randomly, they think strategically, purposefully, and with discipline. They know how to filter out distractions, control their emotions, and make intelligent decisions that move them closer to their dreams. They aren't lucky, they're just masters of their own minds. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. Today, I'm going to show you how to discipline your thinking, how to break free from mental limitations, master your focus, and build a mindset that leads to success. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I take you through 7 powerful disciplines of thinking that will transform the way you approach life, challenges, and opportunities. Let's dive in. Number 1, reprogramming your mind for success. Your mind is like a computer. It runs on the programming you install in it. If you feed it with negativity, doubt, and limiting beliefs, it will produce a life filled with hesitation, failure, and frustration. But if you install the right mental software, positive beliefs, focused thinking, and strategic decision-making, you can transform your entire life. The good news is that no matter what kind of mental programming you've been running up until now, you have the power to change it. From the moment we are born, our thoughts are shaped by our surroundings, family, culture, education, and experiences. Some of these influences are helpful, but many install self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs that hold us back. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, "That's impossible," or "People like us don't succeed"? These statements may seem harmless at first, but over time they become ingrained in our subconscious, shaping our decisions and actions without us even realizing it. The first step to disciplining your thinking is to identify and eliminate the mental roadblocks that have been programmed into you. Start by paying attention to your self-talk. Do you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough, I always fail, or I don't have what it takes"? These thoughts are not facts. They are just patterns of thinking that can be rewired. The brain has something called neuroplasticity, which means it can be reshaped at any age. Just like a muscle, the mind can be trained to think differently. One of the best ways to reprogram your mind is through affirmations and visualization. The greatest achievers in history, from athletes to inventors, have used these techniques to train their minds. Muhammad Ali, for example, constantly repeated, "I am the greatest," long before he ever won a championship. This wasn't arrogance. It was programming his mind to believe in his potential. When you tell yourself powerful, positive statements daily, your subconscious begins to accept them as truth. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," start saying, "I am learning and improving every day." Instead of thinking, "I'll never succeed," tell yourself, "Success is inevitable as long as I keep growing." Another key method is mental detoxing, removing negative influences that reinforce self-doubt. Take a hard look at what you consume daily. Are you constantly absorbing negative news, toxic social media, and conversations that drain your energy? If so, it's time to cleanse your mental environment. The thoughts you allow into your mind will determine the reality you create. Start filling your mind with positive, growth-oriented content, books, podcasts, and conversations that push you forward instead of holding you back. Additionally, surrounding yourself with the right people is crucial. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're constantly around people who complain, doubt, and settle for mediocrity, their mindset will rub off on you. But if you immerse yourself in an environment of ambitious, disciplined thinkers, you will naturally start adopting their mindset. Seek out mentors, read about successful individuals, and engage in discussions that challenge and elevate your thinking. One practical exercise to begin reprogramming your mind is the thought audit. For one full day, write down every negative thought that crosses your mind. At the end of the day, review them and ask yourself, would I say this to my best friend? If the answer is no, then why are you saying it to yourself? Challenge these negative thoughts and replace them with empowering beliefs. Reprogramming your mind is not an overnight process, but it is one of the most valuable investments you can make in yourself. Every thought you entertain either builds or destroys your future. Make the conscious choice to discipline your thinking, remove negativity, and install a mindset that fuels success. Because when you change your thinking, you change your life. Number 2, the power of focus. In a world filled with endless distractions, the ability to focus is a rare superpower. We live in an age where notifications constantly demand our attention. Social media keeps us endlessly scrolling, and entertainment is just a click away. The result is dangerous, creating a generation that struggles with short attention spans, lack of deep work, and difficulty in achieving long-term goals. But here's the truth. Without focus, even the most talented individuals will fail to reach their full potential. Focus is the gateway to mastery, and disciplining your mind to concentrate on what truly matters is one of the greatest skills you can develop. If you study the lives of the most successful people in history, you'll find one common trait, and that is they mastered the art of deep focus. Take Nikola Tesla, for example. He was known for his intense ability to concentrate on his inventions for hours without interruption. He could visualize entire machines in his mind before even building them. His unwavering focus allowed him to revolutionize the world with inventions that still impact us today. Compare that to the average person today who can't go 5 minutes without checking their phone. The difference is clear. Focused minds create breakthroughs. Distracted minds accomplish little. The biggest enemy of focus is mental clutter. Having too many things competing for your attention at once. Think about it. How many times have you started working on something important, only to find yourself checking emails, switching between tasks, or getting lost in social media? This is called context switching, and it destroys productivity. Every time you shift your attention, your brain needs extra time to reorient itself. Studies show that multitasking can reduce productivity by up to 40%. That means if you're constantly jumping between tasks, you're essentially operating at less than half of your true potential. So how do you train your mind to focus? The first step is eliminating distractions. Create an environment that allows deep concentration. If your phone is constantly buzzing, put it in another room while you work. If background noise is an issue, use noise-canceling headphones or find a quiet workspace. If social media is a weakness, use apps that block distracting websites during work sessions. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping your ability to focus. Set yourself up for success by removing distractions before they steal your attention. Another powerful technique is the Pomodoro method, which means working in focus sprints with short breaks in between. Here's how it works. Set a timer for 25 to 50 minutes and work on a single task with complete focus. Take a 5-minute break after each session to refresh your mind. After 4 sessions, take a longer 15 to 30-minute break before starting again. This method trains your brain to concentrate deeply for extended periods while avoiding burnout. Many high achievers use this system to maximize productivity and maintain peak focus throughout the day. Another key element of disciplined thinking is knowing what to focus on. Many people are busy but not productive. They spend their days reacting to emails, doing low-value tasks, and feeling exhausted without actually making progress on their biggest goals. To avoid this, use the 80-20 rule. Focus on the 20% of activities that generate 80% of your results. Ask yourself, which tasks move me closer to my biggest goals? What is the most valuable use of my time right now? Am I being productive or just busy? Successful people don't waste time on trivial things. They identify their most important priorities and protect their focus by saying no to distractions. Warren Buffett, one of the world's greatest investors, once shared a simple but powerful focus strategy. Make a list of your top 25 goals, circle the top 5, and ignore the rest. Why? Because the biggest enemy of focus is not just distractions, it's good opportunities that keep you away from great ones. A major part of developing intense focus is also training your brain through mindfulness and mental conditioning. Athletes, Navy SEALs, and elite performers use visualization and meditation to strengthen their concentration. Even 5 minutes of daily meditation can sharpen your focus, reduce stress, and improve your ability to control your thoughts. Finally, disciplining your focus means being fully present in what you do. Whether you're working, exercising, or spending time with loved ones, be 100% in the moment. Most people live in a state of mental distraction, physically present but mentally elsewhere. When you practice being fully engaged in each activity, you not only improve your performance, but also find greater fulfillment in life. Focus is a skill, not a talent. It can be developed with practice, and the more you train your mind to stay disciplined, the easier it becomes. The world is filled with distractions, but only those who learn to master their focus will achieve extraordinary success. Train your mind to work for you. Eliminate distractions and commit to the power of deep, disciplined thinking. Your success depends on it. Number 3. Emotional discipline. Mastering your reactions. Your emotions are powerful. They can drive you towards success or lead you into failure. When controlled, emotions can fuel ambition, strengthen relationships, and push you beyond your limits. But when left unchecked, they can make you impulsive, reactive, and easily influenced by external circumstances. The ability to discipline your emotions is one of the most critical aspects of mental mastery. Without it, you will always be at the mercy of your feelings, allowing temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. Think about the times when you acted purely on emotion. Maybe you got angry and said something you regretted, or fear stopped you from taking an opportunity that could have changed your life. These reactions are natural, but if you don't train yourself to manage emotions effectively, they will control you instead of you controlling them. The good news is that emotional discipline is a skill, not an inherent trait. Just like focus and intelligence, it can be developed, strengthened, and refined over time. One of the most important aspects of emotional discipline is learning to pause before reacting. People who lack emotional control often respond immediately to situations without thinking through the consequences. They let anger, frustration, or excitement dictate their choices. But those who master emotional discipline understand the power of the pause. Before responding to a difficult situation, they take a deep breath, process the information, and then choose the most effective response instead of reacting impulsively. This small habit alone can transform your relationships, decision-making, and personal growth. A great example of emotional mastery comes from Abraham Lincoln. Early in his career, Lincoln had a habit of writing heated letters when he was upset. However, instead of sending them, he set them aside and waited before deciding what to do. Most of the time, he never sent them at all because his emotions had settled, and he realized the response wasn't necessary. This simple technique, writing out your emotions but not acting on them immediately, can prevent many regrettable decisions. Another crucial element of emotional discipline is detaching from temporary feelings and focusing on long-term goals. Many people fail because they make decisions based on how they feel in the moment rather than considering the bigger picture. For example, someone who wants to get in shape may skip the gym because they don't feel like working out, or an entrepreneur may procrastinate on an important task because they don't feel motivated. This is where emotional discipline separates the successful from the average. Successful people act based on commitment, not emotions. They understand that motivation is unreliable, but discipline is always within their control. One of the best ways to build emotional discipline is through mental reframing, learning to see challenges in a different light. Instead of viewing failure as a reason to quit, emotionally disciplined individuals see it as feedback. Instead of getting frustrated over small setbacks, they use them as stepping stones to improvement. The legendary basketball coach John Wooden once said, "Things turn out best for the people who make the best of the way things turn out." This simple shift in perspective can help you manage stress, overcome obstacles, and stay focused on what truly matters. To strengthen emotional discipline, practice controlled exposure to discomfort. One of the reasons people struggle with emotional control is because they avoid difficult situations instead of facing them. But the truth is, the more you expose yourself to uncomfortable circumstances, the stronger your ability to handle them becomes. This is why elite military units like the Navy SEALs undergo extreme training in high-stress environments. It conditions their minds to stay calm under pressure. You don't need military training to develop emotional toughness, but you can start small by embracing discomfort daily. Whether it's taking a cold shower, having difficult conversations, or pushing through moments of self-doubt instead of giving in. Another strategy to master your emotions is mindful breathing. When you feel overwhelmed, angry, or anxious, focus on controlling your breath. Slow, deep breaths signal to your nervous system that you are in control, allowing you to make rational choices rather than emotional ones. Many high performers, from professional athletes to CEOs, Use breathing techniques to stay composed in high-pressure situations. Lastly, remember that emotional discipline doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means understanding and managing them effectively. Ignoring or bottling up emotions can be just as harmful as acting impulsively. The key is to acknowledge how you feel, analyze why you feel that way, and then decide the best course of action. Instead of saying, "I shouldn't feel this way," ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? And how can I respond constructively? Mastering your emotions is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. It allows you to stay in control under pressure, make intelligent decisions, and build stronger relationships. When you learn to discipline your emotions, you become unshakable. No setback, criticism, or temporary feeling can derail you from your path. Emotions are powerful, but when you learn to manage them instead of letting them manage you, you gain the ultimate advantage in life. Number 4, strategic thinking. Planning like a champion. Success isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart. Many people grind endlessly, believing that effort alone will lead them to their goals. Yet they find themselves stuck in the same place year after year. Do you know what's the missing ingredient? It's strategic thinking. Without a clear plan, even the hardest workers can waste years chasing the wrong things. Strategic thinking is what separates those who struggle from those who succeed effortlessly. It's the ability to see the big picture, anticipate challenges, and make calculated decisions that move you toward your goals efficiently. Take chess players, for example. A grandmaster doesn't think just 1 or 2 moves ahead. They think several moves in advance, predicting how each action will influence the outcome. The same principle applies to life. Those who think strategically don't just react to what's happening now. They plan for what's coming next. This ability to anticipate and prepare is what gives them an unfair advantage over those who simply go with the flow. A perfect example of strategic thinking comes from Napoleon Bonaparte. He wasn't just a great general because he fought hard. He was a master at anticipating his enemy's moves and planning his own counterattacks well in advance. While others were reactive, he was proactive, always thinking ahead, which led to his incredible military success. The same principle applies to your goals. If you don't plan your next steps, life will dictate them for you. So how can you develop strategic thinking in your own life? It starts with having a clear vision. Most people wander through life without a defined destination. They wake up, go to work, deal with problems as they come, and hope things will magically work out. But without a destination, you can't create a roadmap. Imagine trying to drive across the country without a GPS or even a general sense of direction. You'd waste countless hours lost on the wrong roads. That's how most people live their lives, reacting to daily problems instead of steering themselves toward a clear goal. To fix this, define your vision in specific detail. Ask yourself, what does success look like for me in 5, 10, or 20 years? What milestones do I need to hit to get there? What potential obstacles could slow me down? And how can I prepare for them? This is what true strategic thinkers do. They don't just set goals. They anticipate obstacles and create solutions in advance. Instead of being surprised by challenges, they're prepared for them. Another powerful tool of strategic thinking is reverse engineering your success. Instead of just saying, "I want to be successful," work backward from the goal. Start with the end result. Where do you want to be? Identify the key steps needed to reach that point. Break those steps down into smaller, actionable tasks. Schedule those tasks into your daily, weekly, and monthly routines. This approach eliminates confusion and ensures that every action you take moves you closer to your goal. For example, if your dream is to start a business, instead of randomly working on ideas, you can reverse engineer the process. Research the market. Identify a profitable niche. Build a small prototype or service. Test it with real customers. Scale up based on what works. Each step is intentional and calculated, reducing wasted time and effort. One of the biggest reasons people fail to reach their goals is because they get stuck in survival mode, constantly dealing with short-term problems instead of focusing on long-term progress. Successful people delegate, automate, or eliminate distractions that don't serve their ultimate vision. They focus on high-impact activities, the 20% of actions that produce 80% of the results, also known as the 80-20 rule. To think strategically, you must also be adaptable. Even the best plans don't always go perfectly, and that's okay. The key is to constantly analyze and adjust your approach. If something isn't working, don't stubbornly stick to it. Pivot and find a better way. This flexibility is what allows strategic thinkers to stay ahead while others get stuck in old patterns. Finally, a great strategy means making choices based on logic, not emotions. When people make impulsive decisions out of fear, excitement, or frustration, they often regret them later. Strategic thinkers take their time, gather information, and make calculated moves that serve their bigger vision. They don't let temporary emotions dictate long-term results. At the end of the day, success is not about how much effort you put in. It's about how smartly you plan, execute, and adapt. If you want to achieve extraordinary results, you must think several steps ahead. Start developing the habit of strategic thinking today, and you'll soon find that your life moves forward with clarity, direction, and purpose. Number 5. Mental resilience. Training your mind to never quit. Life will test you. No matter how intelligent, talented, or prepared you are, challenges, failures, and setbacks are inevitable. The real question is not whether you will face difficulties, but how you will respond when they come. This is where mental resilience becomes your greatest asset. Mental resilience includes the ability to stay strong, adapt, and keep moving forward despite adversity. Without resilience, even the most skilled individuals break under pressure. With it, even ordinary people achieve extraordinary success. Think about the most successful people in history. Were their journeys smooth and effortless? Absolutely not. Every great achievement was built on a foundation of struggles, failures, and moments of doubt. But the difference between those who succeed and those who give up is simple. Winners keep going when others quit. One of the greatest examples of resilience is Thomas Edison. Before inventing the light bulb, he failed over 10,000 times. When asked about his failures, he famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is the essence of resilience, seeing failure as feedback, not defeat. Most people quit after just a few failed attempts. But those who develop mental resilience keep pushing until they break through. So how do you build unshakable mental resilience? The first step is controlling your inner dialogue. The way you talk to yourself in difficult moments determines whether you persist or surrender. If your self-talk is full of negativity, "I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. What's the point of trying?" you will eventually convince yourself to quit. But resilient people reframe their struggles. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, they see them as opportunities to grow. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," they say, "This is making me stronger." Instead of "I can't handle this," they say, "I'll figure this out." Another crucial part of mental resilience is embracing discomfort. Many people give up because they expect success to be easy. But growth only happens through discomfort. Every time you push through difficulties, whether it's waking up early, working out when you don't feel like it, or taking on a challenge that scares you, you are training your mind to become tougher. Navy SEALs, known for their extreme mental resilience, follow a simple principle called the 40% rule. When your mind tells you you're done, you're actually only at 40% of your true potential. The lesson: your mind will always try to quit before your body needs to. Resilient people learn to ignore that voice and push beyond their perceived limits. One powerful way to train resilience is developing a challenge mindset. Instead of fearing difficulties, actively seek them out. The more you expose yourself to controlled stress, whether it's cold showers, intense workouts, or learning difficult skills, the more your mind adapts. This is why elite athletes, entrepreneurs, and military leaders deliberately put themselves through extreme situations. They understand that resilience is not something you are born with, it's something you train. Another important aspect of resilience is not taking failure personally. Many people quit because they believe failure is a reflection of their worth. But failure is never personal. It's simply data. Every setback is a lesson, every mistake is feedback, and every challenge is a chance to improve. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games, 26 times. I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." The greatest winners in the world are simply those who failed the most, but never gave up. Resilience also requires a strong why. When things get tough, your reason for pushing forward must be stronger than your reason for quitting. This is why purpose-driven people never give up. Whether it's providing for your family, proving something to yourself, or achieving a lifelong dream, your why is the fuel that keeps you going when motivation fades. Finally, surround yourself with resilience-minded people. You become like the people you spend the most time with. If you're constantly around people who complain, make excuses, and give up easily, their mindset will rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with driven, relentless individuals, their energy will push you to keep going even when things get tough. At the end of the day, mental resilience is what separates those who succeed from those who settle. It's not intelligence, talent, or luck. It's the ability to keep going when everything inside you says to stop. Train your mind to see setbacks as stepping stones. Build the habit of pushing through discomfort, and never let failure define you. Because the truth is, the only way you truly fail is if you stop trying. Number 6, decision-making mastery. Every decision you make shapes your future. The small choices, what you eat, how you spend your time, who you surround yourself with, gradually build the life you live. The big choices, your career, relationships, and financial decisions, can determine your success or failure. The problem is, most people don't know how to make decisions with confidence and clarity. Some hesitate and overthink until opportunities pass them by, while others make impulsive choices they later regret. But what separates successful people from the rest is their ability to make smart, disciplined decisions quickly and effectively. There are two types of thinking when it comes to decision making: fast thinking and slow thinking. Fast thinking is your gut instinct, the ability to make quick decisions in high-pressure situations. Slow thinking is deep analysis, careful planning, and weighing the pros and cons before committing to a course of action. Both are important, but the key to decision-making mastery is knowing when to think fast and when to think slow. A great example of fast decision-making comes from fighter pilots. They don't have time to overanalyze every move. They need to trust their instincts and react in milliseconds. Their ability to make split-second decisions determines life or death. On the other hand, an investor or business strategist needs slow thinking. They analyze trends, assess risks, and carefully plan their moves, because a single bad decision could cost millions. The biggest mistake people make is using the wrong type of thinking for the wrong situation. Rushing decisions that require analysis, or overthinking situations that demand action. So how do you discipline your mind to make the right decisions? The first step is understanding when to trust your instincts and when to pause and analyze. Fast decisions are useful in situations where you have experience and can rely on intuition, when the consequences are minor, or when time is limited and hesitation could lead to lost opportunities. Slow decisions are necessary when the choice has long-term consequences, when you lack enough information and need research and advice, or when the decision involves complex trade-offs and risks. One of the biggest problems people face is analysis paralysis, overthinking so much that they never actually make a decision. This is common when people are afraid of making mistakes. But the truth is, indecision is often worse than making the wrong choice. While mistakes can be corrected, missed opportunities cannot be recovered. The way to overcome analysis paralysis is by following the 80% rule. If you have 80% of the information needed, make the decision and move forward. Waiting for 100% certainty leads to inaction. Another powerful decision-making strategy is prioritizing tasks based on urgency and importance. Many people waste time making decisions about things that don't matter while neglecting the ones that do. Instead of getting caught up in trivial distractions, focus on high-value decisions that actually move your life forward. This mindset shift prevents you from spending energy on things that drain you but don't contribute to your long-term success. One of the most overlooked aspects of disciplined decision-making is removing emotions from the process. Many bad decisions happen when people let fear, excitement, or frustration control their thinking. A prime example is financial decisions. People panic during market crashes and sell investments at a loss, or they get overly excited and buy into trends without research. Emotional decision-making leads to regret. The best way to avoid this is to pause and detach from the situation before making a major decision. Take a step back, sleep on it, or seek an outside perspective from someone you trust. Successful decision makers also practice thinking beyond the immediate moment. One useful method is the October 10th 10 rule. How will I feel about this decision in 10 minutes? How will I feel about it in 10 months? How will I feel about it in 10 years? This simple exercise forces you to step out of the present moment and consider the long-term impact of your choices. Finally, to master decision-making, you must learn from past mistakes. Every poor decision is an opportunity to improve. Instead of feeling regret, analyze what led to the mistake, how you can prevent it in the future, and what lesson you can take from it. People who fear making mistakes often stay stuck in inaction and indecision. But those who study their past choices, refine their thinking, and apply those lessons continuously get better. At the end of the day, your life is the result of your decisions. Train your mind to balance instinct with logic, remove emotions from the process, and make choices that align with your long-term vision. The ability to make disciplined decisions quickly when needed and carefully when required is a skill that will separate you from the average and put you on the path to success. Number 7, the discipline of lifelong learning. Your mind is your greatest asset, but like any muscle, it needs continuous training to stay sharp. The world is constantly evolving, and those who stop learning are left behind. The most successful people in history, whether in business, science, sports, or the arts, never stop learning. They understood that knowledge is not something you acquire once. It is something you must continuously seek. Yet most people make the mistake of thinking that learning ends after school. They graduate, get a job, and slowly stop investing in their own growth. Over time, their minds become stagnant, and they wonder why they feel stuck in life. The truth is, success is not about how smart you are right now. It's about how much you are willing to learn and apply as you move forward. One of the greatest examples of lifelong learning is Leonardo da Vinci. He was not just an artist. He was an inventor, engineer, scientist, and philosopher. His curiosity was endless, and he never confined himself to one field. He filled thousands of pages with ideas, experiments, and discoveries, always pushing the limits of what he knew. He understood that the more he learned, the more he could connect ideas and create something extraordinary. This mindset of relentless curiosity is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain average. The challenge most people face is not a lack of opportunities to learn, but a lack of discipline in learning. In the digital age, we have access to more information than any generation before us. Yet most people waste this privilege by consuming mindless entertainment instead of valuable knowledge. The difference between those who grow and those who remain stagnant is how they use their time. Are you spending hours scrolling through social media, watching reality TV, and engaging in pointless arguments? Or are you feeding your mind with books, documentaries, and discussions that expand your perspective? Every choice you make is either sharpening your mind or dulling it. A disciplined learner does not wait for knowledge to come to them. They actively seek it. One of the best ways to cultivate lifelong learning is through reading. Nearly every successful person you admire is a reader. Bill Gates reads about 50 books a year. Warren Buffett spends 5 to 6 hours a day reading. Even Oprah Winfrey, one of the busiest people in the world, has always credited books for shaping her success. The reason reading is so powerful is that it allows you to access the minds of the greatest thinkers in history. Instead of learning everything the hard way through personal experience, you can gain wisdom from those who have already walked the path before you. However, lifelong learning goes beyond books. Real growth comes from applying what you learn. Many people collect knowledge, but never put it into action. They read about fitness, but never exercise. They study entrepreneurship, but never start a business. They listen to motivational talks, but never change their habits. Knowledge without action is useless. If you want to truly grow, you must apply what you learn. If you read about leadership, take on a leadership role. If you study communication, start practicing in real conversations. The more you apply, the deeper your understanding becomes. Another critical element of lifelong learning is surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. The people around you should inspire you to think bigger, act bolder, and strive for more. Seek out mentors, join mastermind groups, and engage in discussions that push you beyond your comfort zone. Many of the world's most successful individuals credit their growth to having the right mentors. They knew that learning from someone with experience could save them years of trial and error. Lifelong learning also requires embracing failure as part of the process. Many people avoid learning new things because they fear looking foolish or making mistakes. But failure is simply feedback. The more mistakes you make, the more lessons you gain. Think about how children learn to walk. They fall hundreds of times before they finally master the skill. Yet they never give up because they don't see failure as the end. They see it as part of learning. If you want to master anything in life, you must adopt the same mindset. Fail fast, learn faster, and keep moving forward. Another powerful strategy for disciplined learning is setting clear learning goals. Instead of saying, "I want to learn more," be specific. Decide what skill or knowledge you want to acquire in the next 6 months. Break it down into daily or weekly learning sessions. If you want to learn a new language, commit to 30 minutes of practice every day. If you want to become an expert in a subject, schedule time for deep study. Learning should not be left to chance. It should be a structured part of your routine. In the end, your ability to succeed in life depends on your ability to keep learning, adapting, and evolving. The world does not reward those who remain stagnant. It rewards those who stay curious and continuously improve themselves. If you discipline your mind to seek knowledge, apply it, and never stop growing, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Lifelong learning is not a luxury. It is a necessity for those who want to live a life of purpose, impact, and success. The question is, are you willing to commit to it? Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever have. Every great success, every failure, every breakthrough, and every struggle begins with a thought. The way you think determines the way you live. If you learn to discipline your mind, you will gain control over your actions, emotions, decisions, and ultimately, your future. If you let your mind run on autopilot, influenced by distractions, negative emotions, and poor decision-making, you will drift through life without purpose or direction. The choice is yours. Throughout this journey, we have explored 7 essential disciplines of thinking that can transform your life. We started by reprogramming the mind, understanding that our beliefs shape our reality, and that we must take control of what we feed our minds. We then focused on mastering our attention, learning that focus is a superpower in a world full of distractions. We talked about emotional discipline, understanding that our reactions to situations shape our destiny more than the situations themselves. We explored the power of strategic thinking, realizing that success is not just about working hard, but about thinking ahead and making smart moves. We then strengthened our resilience, learning that setbacks and failures are simply stepping stones to growth. We developed decision-making mastery, balancing instinct with logic, and ensuring that every choice we make moves us forward. Finally, we embraced the discipline of lifelong learning, understanding that those who continuously grow will always stay ahead. Now, the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Too often, people consume information, but never apply it. They read books, watch motivational videos, and take notes, but they never take action. Don't let that be you. If you truly want to discipline your thinking and change your life, you must practice these principles daily. Your mind will not change overnight, but every small step you take will bring you closer to mastery. Start with one habit, whether it's training your focus, controlling your emotions, making better decisions, or reading daily. Commit to improving one area at a time. Small disciplined actions compound into massive results over time. The road to success is not about luck, talent, or intelligence. It is about discipline. The discipline to think differently, to push past obstacles, and to keep learning, adapting, and growing. Most people live on the surface of their potential because they allow their minds to be ruled by fear, distraction, and complacency. But those who discipline their thinking rise above. They see opportunities where others see problems. They stay strong when others give up. They continue learning while others remain stagnant. Today you have a choice. You can let this be just another piece of information that you consume and forget. Or you can make the decision to start applying what you've learned. Success is not about what you know, it is about what you do with what you know. Start now. Train your mind. Take control of your thoughts. Discipline your thinking, and you will discipline your life. Because in the end, those who master their minds master everything else. The question is, will you be one of them?